Okay, welcome to Star Trek New Horizons version point 6 alpha build. My name is Janik. I'm one of the developers for Star Trek New Horizons. Specifically, I start writing the scripts for the individual static systems that will appear throughout the game and hopefully trying to make them as lore friendly as possible. So when you play, you can say, hey, I recognize that from a TOS episode, TNG, DS9, Enterprise, or even Voyager, or even some of the motion pictures as you're playing through it. So we're going to start up a new game here. Uh, 37 playable races. I'm scrolling through it quickly, but let me start off at the very beginning. United Earth. This is one of my versions that I like. Individualist, xenophile, pacifist. But for right now, to make the diplomacy work a little bit better, you're better off running the fanatic, xenophile, pacifist. We hopefully, once we get a better handle on the diplomacy system, we'll be able to use United Earth in the individualist, xenophile, pacifist. Of course, you have the Klingon Federation or the Klingon Empire, Romulan Star Empire, Cardassian Union, the Breen, Orion, the Ferengi, and the Gorn, Vulcan High Command. Andorian Empire is not in its final build, as you can see, because of the pacifist. We are wanting to remove that and give them more of a militaristic feel, but until we can, again, get a handle on the diplomacy so they can actually form an alliance, that's not going to happen right now. The Bajoran Republic, a couple of my playthroughs, they have fallen Star Trek canon and have been conquered early on by the Cardassian Union. Kazon Sex, out in the Delta Quadrant on a inhospitable world. The Dosai Confederacy, Bolians. Recently added is the Guardian Republic. Talaxian, there you go, you can actually see Neelix's race there. Benzarian Commonwealth, I'm not good on the pronunciations, that's not my strong suit, so I apologize for my butchering of the names. Let's see if any other. Oh, the Krenim, big one there. Dominion and the Vorta Assembly. Dominion being like the founders, etc. We haven't really built that all out yet. There's the Vorta, which you would be able to raise up, as well as the Jem'Hadar. Those will be put in the game eventually. Recently also added because of Star Trek Beyond. Here we go. The United Lydian Provinces. The Voth, the Vodwar, Tolarian, the Tholians. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So, there's some other ones, but I'm not familiar with them. So we're going to play as the United Earth. We're going to try doing this and seeing how it goes in the version .6 playthrough. Star Trek Horizons Galaxy version 2. That's the more balanced of the two maps that we're going to bring in. The other one is Star Trek Horizons Alternate Galaxy. This is more lore friendly, unfortunately, due to the limitations that the developers for Stellaris has created. We are unable to fully get a great scale map. We're limited to 1K by 1K. Even if we had 2.5 by 2.5 or even 5K, it'd be much easier to map it out properly and get a good spatial feel for it. So we're limited to the actual scale of the map due to planets and star systems and just the overall encompassing feel of it. I'm not going to play on Iron Man because I might have to do something in the dev screen, so we'll just go with that. Leaving on allow any FTL method shouldn't play a big factor in it, but Borg do use wormholes or transwarp as we call it. Gonna play it on everything else normal. So here, let's go. That'll be a different screen. This is just again the dev build here. All right, let's just see how we're gonna go. Hopefully, I turned off enough of the broken stuff. All right, so let's see. Let's start off by researching. Let's get into this real quick. Colony ships, and that's going to be a change. We're going to be removing these coil guns and these what we call dead end techs because we're not going to be using any of the kinetic weapons. They are going to be changed, and we're getting a complete overhaul of our tech tree. And in fact, one of my friends is working on that right now. Let's start off with ion thrusts. There we go. Look at what my leaders are like. Good. Anomaly. I recruit anybody that's going to be worth picking up. Field theory. Nice. Rocketry. Industry. What do I got? I already got an industry. I got computers, so we're going to change that guy up to that. Particle physics. Yay. I might pick him up. We'll see here. Let's go back to 6. Alright, void, industry, rocketry, of course. New worlds. Let's see if I have anybody available that would fill that. No. No, I'm not going to pick up rocketry. I'll just go like that. Alright, let's go ahead, go into policies. Let's go ahead and encourage free thought. Civilian trade. Right now we disabled civilian trade in our dev build version 6.1. We've noticed some significant issues with civilian trade just because of the way that it's scripted out to go to the different systems. Hopefully we've disabled most of it, so it shouldn't impact the game too much. We've seen a lot of your comments on Steam, a couple of on ModDB, and a couple of people actually have PM'd me about this. The performance has dropped because we introduced civilian trade. We're talking with the developers for Stellaris whether or not we can try to figure out a better way to script out the AI for trade. However, they haven't really gotten back to us on the whole civilian trade side of that. It's also possible they are looking at creating a trade mod or a trade DLC for Stellaris. So, who knows? Stay tuned. Let's see what they have. War philosophy. I'm always a fan of liberation wars in case someone gets conquered to save them. Prohibit slavery, prohibit purge, orbital bombardment light. Yeah. Free migration, resettlement prohibited. Voting rights, free vote for everybody. Primary species for right now. First contact peaceful. Alrighty, that looks good. Let's take a look at the surface, see what we got here. No new buildings as far as I know. They might have been added, so if they have, he'll be as surprised as I will be. Let's see here. What do I need? More food. Alright. Build a hydroponics farm there, and let's build another power plant there. And move you into... Actually, no, let's go keep you there for right now. And then... Basic science lab there. Oh, if you're wondering why... it seems like there's a lot more resources. That's from the resource increase from in our dev.1 build 6.1 build. That's why you're seeing like four physics, 4 engineering, 4 energy, 3 minerals on a home world. So there we go. Let's just close this out right here. Zooming out of the map. This is one of our other map creators handle is Osteo, and this is his take of the galaxy. As you can see, Sol is right where it is in the game in Star Trek, somewhere right in that area. As you can see, we zoom in. We have the Orion Nebula, the Briar Patch, more nebulas there. And for those that are familiar, there's the Mutara Nebula with between Khan and Kirk. Fun one. There's the Orion Nebula, Horsehead Nebula, Closet Nebula. Is there anything good over here? Zeta Cluster, Typhon Expanse, Helix Nebula. Yep. Black Cluster, Ring Nebula there. Oh, yep, there it is. There is an unknown black hole in the middle of the galaxy. And if you guys can figure which one that is, congratulations, you're much of a nerd as I am. And so there's the Delta, here's the Gamma Quadrant. Nothing's been shown or explored. As you can see, it's just a static map that we've generated. It's a random setup, so we have general areas where planets should be, and then we let the computer randomize exactly where it's going to place it in a min-max, so minimum value of whatever and the maximum value of whatever in both the x and the y-axis. Unfortunately, we have no control over the z-axis, so we're stuck on that. I apologize, I'm fighting a bit of a cold and I'm just trying to do this. So as you can see, just in here, starting off, Alpha Centauri, Epsilon Indi, and Bernard Star are close by. So let us begin. Okay, good. Let's get inside. Start surveying. Alrighty, let's speed it up a little bit. Starbases. Oh yeah. There we go. There's our first pass on the starbase. And there it is. A little clipping there. But you can see open starbase doors, interior there, the lights. Pretty nice. And it's also on this side of the starbase. There you go. So yeah. Actually, no, it doesn't look like clipping. It just looks like maybe blurring of the map of it. So with that, that's the Federation outpost. We now have phaser defense modules. We found a way where we can actually put in more defense modules. So if you want to make a more heavily armed starbase, like they talk about in the different video games that are out there, Star Trek Online, Star Trek Armada 2, 3 with the Armamod team. So you can actually create more phaser defense modules or different type of weapons modules. Ship designer, we've starting to implement other ones. We haven't figured out names for these cores yet. Pretty much they're all, well, actually no, they're not actually more expensive. For some reason this one's the least expensive at 75 minerals, so I usually tend to use that versus the 115. I am actually one of the few players that actually do not use FTL for my patrol frigates inside systems. I'll leave that be for right now. And I usually gear them out as much as possible. And they're pretty cheap doing it this way. Let's call that... Dallas-class patrol frigates. There we go. So we got Spider, which is the whole value and everything doesn't change, it's just the base cost. So I'm going to get rid of Spider and create a different one. Okay, we're going to call this, yay, got to level up. Virginia class. Alrighty. Let's see what we got going in the system. Oh, right. Let's start this up. Put that on my other bind there. I usually try to keep all my construction ships towards 0, 9, and maybe 8. And the rest down there. Science, I try to keep around 5 or 6 in my fleets. In slots 2, 3, and 4. And then Sol, or my capital, on number 1. Let's see. I got one inactive building. Um, Move that there. Get that moving. There we go. So yeah, I've been writing some of the scripts for the different planets, such as Alpha Centauri, Bernard Star, Sirius, using binary systems. Right now, there is no good way of creating a true binary system in the game. Or even trinary systems. We've asked the developers if they could assist us creating a true binary, trinary, or quadrinary star system where there being 2, 3, or 4 stars. Right now, it's just up in the air whether or not they'll help us on that one. Back into that. Let's see. So Jupiter got stuff in there. Let's go ahead and build a mining station on Europa. Class K planetoid, which you can upgrade. We just did a minor pass on the terraforming, trying to make it a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more user-friendly. Hopefully we can get to that in this game. We're at about the 18-minute mark right now, so we can go for another, try to go for another 12 minutes, and then break, and then start up a new station complete. A new session, and go from there. Alrighty, so what's going on Earth? Spaceport. Nothing else. I need some more social. Research complete. Go ahead, pause that. Spatial torpedoes. That's going to be our torpedo slot eventually. Well, actually, they are torpedoes, but those are going to be going. The L or large slots are going to be converted into torpedo slots. Yeah, let's go ahead and research that. Get torpedoes for our ships. So I need a little bit more physics to get going here. So play it as a federation. Lit firing purpose or something. But the scientific needs public at large. Commendable initiative. Let us survey the galaxy. Detected. Let's do that. Okay. Go ahead and try. There we go. A lot of this is eventually going to get some adjustments, some more moving star systems around as we try to better fit the lore into this entire galaxy. And yeah, hopefully we can get it going for you guys. I'm really enjoying working with the team. They've been really great helping me do some research and also learning Stellaris's coding and scripting language. I've done a few mods for Kerbal Space Program. Haven't released them because I'm not a 3D modeler, so I can't do it. I just do stuff behind the scenes. I just know how to do if then or then statements and just basic coding on that type of level. But I'm actually learning, and this is actually a fun way to learn how to do just writing basic scripts for AI to do. Yeah, so it's been a fun experience. We've been really hard at this. I think seems for me at least that as soon as I get off of work, I come home and I start working for about 2, 3 hours. Sometimes it feels like I'll stay up all night and work through about 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and be like, oh wow, I got to go to work here in about 3 hours. Okay, well I guess I'll be grabbing tons and tons of coffee on the way into work. And sometimes my work suffers, but it's a labor of love. You know what? Go ahead, research it. 20%. Why not? You only live once. Okay. So, yeah, that's a little bit about me. Yeah, it's just wish this could go a little faster so you guys can see some other stuff. 22-minute mark. Could break and come back, or just keep pushing through. Oh, pulsar riff. Yeah, pulsar there. Oh, nice shadow play. Speaking of shadow play, we've added a few more different events in the last pass. We've added like 2 or 3 new events that are long going. So let's actually class F. G. Let's go. Let's go here. All right, so Proxima Centauri. There's no real we've thought about making it as a system that is super close to Alpha Centauri A and B. The team felt that we could probably try to do a trinary system with it after comments from you guys in the Steam community to putting it on the edge of the map versus how it was originally on version 0.5.6. Yeah, so your guys' comments are we'll take them, bounce them between the 20 of us or so that are working on this, and hopefully come to a good consensus and do some good work for you guys so you guys can enjoy what we envisioned a 4X style Star Trek game where you can play through the different eras. Right now we're in the Enterprise uniforms. architectural sense, nice. Okay, good. Some research going here to speed things along. Get my research speed going even faster here. So we decided in the balance map to only have 2 habitable star systems inside Alpha Centauri, but according to the different sources from both on-screen and books, that there are actually more than 4, but in this instance, we're only going to showcase 4. Proxima has possibly a colonizable planet. Centauri B actually had a multiple star planetoids around it, but a couple of them were destroyed when it went aged rapidly in one of the books. So we decided not to do that, and we're only going to show Alpha Centauri A's planets. Photonic torpedoes or engineering facilities.
Anomaly found.
Definitely research that. Let's go engineering facilities to get that going. Inactive buildings. Yeah, I know I'm going to have 2 of those. 3 of those. You know what? Let's build mining network.
Research complete.
Alrighty, colonizing time. Frontier clinic, hydroponics, food, 10%. Let's go. Oh, danger. A drone emits a nucleonic beam directed at the captain, which causes him to immediately fall to the floor. Number 1 initiates red alert, and a medical team is rushed to the bridge. At first glance, the captain appears knocked out, but the chief medical officer quickly realizes the captain is in fact sleeping in a deep REM cycle. It's generating neurotransmitters at unprecedented levels and appears to be having a vivid dreaming. Try to get out of range of the drone, lock weapons and destroy the alien vessel, put shields to cut off the beam. Well, actually, I know this one. And actually, I just watched this episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, so I know what to do. So let's try to get it out of range of the drone. So, all right. Helmsman maneuvers the ship away from the drone, but even at full impulse, it manages to keep up with your ship and continues firing the nucleonic beam at the captain. Let's wait it out. 15 minutes passes. The captain seems to be sleeping soundly. The crew is uneasy about allowing the alien vessel to so easily paralyze the captain. Let's wait. After another 10 minutes, the drone finally turns off its beam, comes to, and surrounded by medical staff. The captain looks around as if seeing the bridge for the first time, reciting the names of the crew members as though they were distant memories. Ah, yes, Picard. That was a great episode. Actually, was one of my favorite episodes that they did. Gain 1,500 experience due to a lifetime, and I gained the meticulous trait. Nice. Alrighty, let's go ahead and pick up leader lifespan 10 years. And food. Let's go back to Earth, spaceport. I need a lot more minerals so I can start building it. But back to this. Eventually, we are going to start putting in some scripts for the Centauris if you're familiar with a TOS or the original series episode Requiem for Methuselah, I believe it's the one, or something. It was Methuselah. Just one of those episodes. It's been a while since I've watched it. Um, there was a lithograph that was talked about made by a person on Alpha Centauri 7 or Al Rigel, this little planetoid right here. That's going to be of the Centauri culture. I did a little bit of research going through some of the books that I own for the Next Generation and TOS episodes. And it's actually, they are a 3rd BCE century civilization from the Helena area or the Greek region that was transported. Second here, that was transported to Alpha Centauri 7 as a way to prevent the destruction of humanity by an outside force. This was done by the Preservers. Preservers are beings that seeded different people around the world and around the galaxies. Let's see, we're at the 31-minute mark, so this is actually probably a good time to pause this, save my game, and continue on in the next episode.